Hi, Christina Winters, Free Balloons. I'm going to give you some balloon basics. This is just the kind of balloon dynamics. So made out of a latexy stretchy material. Stretching it can be important beforehand. It can also mess you up if it gets stretched in the wrong places. So that'll be in tips and tricks. I'm going to overload this balloon. So I'm going to put it on my pump, but I'm going to add a little bit more than I need to. That'll give me something good to hold on to. So see, I've got plenty here, because that's a problem. A lot of people shoot their balloons. And then I'm just going to do a puppy dog, so I'm just going to add, just a bit. I don't really measure them out, partly because I learned a long time ago and it just kind of feel. So what's happened now is the air has maximized the amount of space here all the way down, and that's what pushes down. You can see it's more narrow here and thicker here. So I'm going to do what we call burping a balloon. I'm going to let out just a little bit of air, and that gives me some flexibility on this end. You can push it down too, but then that can mess with your twist later. So I just let out a little bit of air. I can do hundreds of balloons in a day, so I generally use 3 fingers to tie mine. That gives me a lot of space, and it helps with that owie section. And when you overload the beginning, then that helps you with that extra room. So, knots in. Now I'm going to push it forward. Because I had all of that extra room up there, that means this part up here is kind of thinner like this. So I'm going to push it forward, and that's going to maximize my space here. When that happens, there's usually a little divot. For something like an animal, I tend to use that as my marker for where my nose is going to be. And the front is almost always the nose. Not every time, but frequently. So here we go. We're going to do a spin. Now, if I let go of, didn't even let go of that. I'm going to spin it a few times. But if I let go of this, it's going to come undone really quick. So what's actually holding these balloons together is the twist in them and the pressure of the other bubble. So for a puppy, again, I have to hold on to this. So I'm going to put my hand here, and then I'm going to do another one here. And I turn it so I can do a little measuring. And then, see, I'm taking my thumb and finger here, and I'm pinching that at the same spot so that I'm even, and then I'm spinning it again. Something that you really need to know is always spin in the same direction. So I tend to spin towards me. You can spin away from yourself, but make sure all of your bubbles are spun the same way. That also, if you make some mistake, helps you know how to undo it, because sometimes that happens. Okay, so now I've got all of these 3 bubbles here. Now if I let go, I have lost everything. So you have to keep a hold. So I'm going to do my nose again. I'm going to do one ear. I'm going to turn it like this so I know my sizing. I'm going to pinch this where I want it. I'm going to spin it again. And then now I'm going to put this and this together. So I'm going to hold on to the 2 of these, and I'm just going to spin it. And now it'll hold. So what's holding this in place is actually that expansion and the size of this bubble. So if you don't have enough air in your balloon, it will still come undone. So that is when you rework a balloon, it's because it's stretched it out and it doesn't have that full capacity. So there's some science and some construction in that. Now, for a puppy, same thing. It's just the 3 and 3 and 3. It's just the size changes a little bit. So I've got my nose, I've got my 2 ears. I am not a videographer, so one of the reasons this hasn't been done. But I'm going to do a 3 spin again, only this one I'm going to change the size. So I'm going to do the neck right there. And now I'm going to kind of look at the rest of my balloon and see my size. And then I want 4 legs and a body out of this. So I'm going to come maybe here. I'm going to do a leg. So one thing that we do all the time that is not necessarily explained is we give it a squeeze. Not a heavy squeeze, but a squeeze. So then I'm going to come here, measure it. I'm going to take my thumb and finger again. I'm going to give it a twist. And then now I can feel how thick this is through here, but I need more balloon, so I'm going to give it a squeeze. I'm going to spin it. Now, see how this is about the same size as it was before. So when you're judging how big to make this and how big to make that, that squeeze that pushes the air down to the back, you kind of have to have a semblance of how much space is going to be left. That's something that just experience You're probably not going to be able to pick up a balloon right away and just be like, oh, I'm going to have 3 inches for that, or 2 inches for that, or 1 inch for that when you give it a squeeze. And every balloon is different. They can come out of the exact same bag from the exact same company in the exact same batch and still end up different diameters, different sizes, different. You can't quality control every balloon, or you don't have infants. Okay, so the other thing that happened from my push is, see, there's a little divot here. So I'm going to take that spot and I'm going to make that my body. Oops. Again, can't let go or it'll come undone. A little bit of a squeeze, not too much. See, expanded that much. That gives me this much left, and look at that. It's about right for my legs. And you can do it, I mean, take your time if you want. Give it a measurement. You don't have to though, it's a balloon. The balloon part is just the happy. Okay, so now I just have the oblongs. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take it here, and then I'm pushing it, so that's going to push this further, and I'm going to spin it towards me. You can spin it any direction you want. Just be consistent about it. And then again, and we have a puppy. Now, kids play with balloons, so I think if you've ever seen me do one of these for you or your child, more often than not, I take my tail and I run it through my legs. That just gives it a little, so when they go to twist this part, it doesn't come undone. Otherwise, it comes undone pretty quickly. And sometimes when kids walk away and I see the back end is undone, I'm like, oh, I forgot to do that. It can happen. Okay, so there's your basic puppy. So it is the pressure from the one bubble to the next bubble that is holding it in place. For a puppy, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you're doing balloons for your kids, they don't care. They're just really happy. And I know, because I've been doing this for a few years now, I have had so many kids say, Mommy, Mommy, I want you to do it for me. I want you to do it for me. And if they're on vacation and they're leisurely, sometimes the mom and I will be able to walk through and just do one. And hers may not look just like mine. And you know what? The kid does not care. So the kid usually gets the one Mommy did, and then the mom can have the one that I did. They're just happy that you're doing something with them and for them that's fun and playful. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, basic dog, basic spins. Almost everything is a 3-spin. Not everything. We'll go over the teddy bear in the next video. And that one, we're going to deal with the pinch twist. So, just basics. Basic puppy. Almost everyone's happy with a puppy. Next video, twists, spins.